Hello. Today we're going to do rock painting. I found this rock in a park, and I brought it home, washed it really good with some soap, warm water, dried it off, and I let it set overnight. And this morning I put some Mod Podge on it to seal the holes. It's called Mod Podge, to seal the holes of the rock so that I would be able to paint over it smoothly. And I did. I painted over it with some acrylic paint. And so that's where the orange-red look comes from. That's an acrylic. And then I drew the snail. And so now I'm getting ready to paint the snail. And I'm going to start with a pewter gray for the snail, and then we'll use some other colors for the shell. Okay, that went on quite nicely. And once it dries, I may go back over it. Let's see if I can balance this shell. There, that looks good. All right, so I'm going to start out. Well, I started with the snail for y'all who just got here. Y'all keep coming on in. And so I painted the snail a pewter gray. So right here is the snail that I just painted a pewter gray. And I may go back over the snail before I'm done. So now I'm going to start with some parts of the shell here. I like to start with the very center. Okay. And I drew the shell just for an outline in the black with the black Sharpie. I drew the circles of the shell there. So once you get your first coat on, you can always go back and add more to the color, make it darker. But when I'm painting a shell, I like to just, the first go around, I'm just kind of mapping out how it's going to be. The second go around, I go in and kind of lock in all my colors and shape it. But right now, I'm just kind of putting an outline of how I'm going to set this shell up, how it's going to, the pattern. I'm just designing the pattern right now as to what my choice of colors. You always want to think about what color did you put on your rock? What's that base color? This is like an orange, a red orange. And so you want colors that are going to look good on that base rock that the Snail is on. The pewter gray went well. This yellow looks nice. I'm going to go back over the yellow. So I'm just, again, putting in place where I want the colors to be. All right. Okay, so this is rock painting. I find that rock painting invigorates. If you're having a tough week, things are not going right, grab yourself a rock, grab yourself some paint, start painting. It invigorates the mind. It takes your mind off of whatever you're going through temporarily until you can regroup. I love rock painting. I've done it in the past, and I recently started back again. So I'm doing it more now than I've ever done it before. Because I remember now how invigorating it is. You choose your colors. You decide what colors you want to use. If you're not sure what colors go well together, you can always Google it and just, put in a question, what color goes well with red, or what color goes well with blue, or whatever colors you have a question about. Now this is a jet black that I'm using, and it is really black. I love this color. This jet black goes good with almost anything. All right. So far I've used a pewter gray for the body of the snail. I've used a yellow for a center of the shell and throughout the shell, as well as jet black. And this is really easy to do. And you can outline, what you're going to be painting on the rock like I did, like the snail here. Or if you're really, really good at it, you don't even have to outline it. You can just go for it without an outline and just draw it or paint it onto the shell. So that first coat of yellow I put on has begun to dry. So as I go over it again, it becomes more vibrant. And this is when the shell really begins to show its shape, is when you go over it a couple of times. If you guys do any rock painting, leave a comment, put a comment so I can see who's watching. So when you're painting your shell, the goal is to cover up any of that red rock that shell is lying on. Like here in the very center, you can see a little bit of that red rock. You want to cover all that. All right, I'm just rinsing off my brush. Okay. Having just a little bit of technical difficulty. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I have lots of videos. I have a variety of how to create stickers, painting rocks, where to find your rocks, what kind of paints to use. Invite your friends to support the channel as well if they're into rock painting or any of the arts. And thank you so much for supporting the channel, for visiting today, for subscribing. This is really easy to do, and it's a very inexpensive hobby because you can find your rocks outside in a park. I mean, on a ground, just anywhere. Even when I'm out shopping, if I spot a really cute rock, I'll pick it up and bring it home and wash it and dry it. So what do you do with your painted rocks? I like to put them in my flower pots. They are so cute and they make such a wonderful conversation piece. And you can also give them away as gifts. There's so many different things that you can do, with your painted rocks. Okay, so now I'm going to let the shell kind of dry a bit. It doesn't take long for acrylic paint to dry. So I'm trying to draw in his tentacles here. There we go. So a good way to dry off your rocks, you can use a hair dryer, a small hair dryer. You can use a fan, or you can just let it set, for 30 minutes or so. I would let it set for a while, especially if you're going to go back over like some of those lighter colors. You want to make sure that the darker colors have dried. Okay, if you're watching, drop a comment so that I can see if the chat is working. You can just say hi or put your name down in the comments so I'll know who's watching. Now for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and put a little more yellow. I'm not going to wait as long for the drying. Okay, so the rocks that I have done for October, I've done quite a few. I've really been focusing on drawing the snail this month. So I'm just going to push the spoon to the side a little bit. And this is another snail that I did. I based the rock in white, and I used a pewter gray for the snail. I used a pewter gray for the one that I did today as well. This gray is just such a pretty color for the snail. And then for the shell, I did an orange and I worked the black in. And it doesn't always have to be circular. See, I have some little squiggly lines in there. And then I just use some green to draw a few plants onto the rock near the snail. But this made a really cute design for this rock. And I did get a lot of good compliments on this particular snail. I just really love that that shell. It just has this tiger look to it, an exotic look to it. So it was a lot of fun drawing this particular snail. So I'm gonna just put him there. See if I can put him on the side like that. Good. Okay, so then another rock that I did this month is the butterfly. This rock, I based it with some sky blue. And then I drew the butterfly and I drew the plant. And I used a burnt, it's a brown sienna color for the body of this butterfly. And I used a real red for the butterfly wings. And this is acrylic paint that I've been using. So I used a real red for the wings, and then I used a matte white to dot the wings. And for the flower, I used a sunny yellow and a brown for the center, and then a green for the stem. And I got a lot of compliments on this particular rock. This rock was a little more complicated to draw because of the shape of the rock. And I didn't use any of the Mod Podge to fill in the holes. I just pretty much just used the acrylic paint. I think that kind of made it a little bit more challenging than the one that we did today, because this one has that Mod Podge on it, which kind of levels the drawing. But this one was just a raw rock without that coating. I like just using the raw rock, but sometimes they're just too hard to draw on. So you have to put that base Mod Podge or whatever you use onto it. And this morning I did another rock. It's a cotton blue butterfly. And I just used the raw rock. I didn't put any of the Mod Podge on. I just simply drew onto this naked rock. This is what it looked like when I picked it up off the ground. And I just used the rock in its natural state. And I drew the cotton blue butterfly along with the greenery that I put behind the butterfly, and I drew a flower with some yellow petals there, with the yellow petals. And last night I worked on another rock. It's the first rock that I've done that has language on it, so it has love on it. And again, this is another raw rock that I used. I drew this snail. I used the blue for his shell along with the black. And then I painted the tip in a green, I think this was a kiwi color. And I put the word love onto the rock. So that turned out really well. This is really a cute rock that I'm going to give away to a young friend of mine. Let's see. So yeah, so they, if there is any type of a design that you would like to see me do on a rock, just drop it in the chat, and I'll look into drawing that online. And because I'd like to draw, what you guys like and what you would like to see. And then I found another rock at the park. It was shaped like a slice of pizza. So I pretty much just brought it home, washed it off, put some Mod Podge on it, and then I began to, I based it with an orange, and there's the pepperoni. So it looks like a little slice of pizza. So there's the pepperoni that I put on it. And then the crust is like a golden sunset. And this one was really popular. I got a lot of views on this one. And it's just made an interesting rock. Let's slot that in there. And what's so cute is when you get them all together, they are so cute. They make such a cute little collection. Okay, and this is another one of the first ones that I did. um, with the yellow butterfly, the blue flower with the yellow center. And what's really cute about this one is that on the opposite side, there's a snail. This one I put in my my clay flower pot, and it looks really nice in that flower pot with the plants. So all of these rocks I have varnished, which, meaning I've taken them outside and I've sprayed varnish on them. So you just, get yourself a can of varnish, and I do it outside because that varnish has a strong smell, and it's not healthy to inhale varnish. So I do it outside where there's, lots of, wind blowing and lots of air, so that the varnish is just, you can't use it inside. Use it outside on the patio, or just, just wherever outside. So you spray the rocks with the varnish. What that does, it protects your drawing. It protects your artwork, because if you don't do that, like this side of this rock does not have much varnish on it. And so you can see how the pewter gray on the snail is beginning to come off. And even the shell is beginning to wear. It's because it doesn't have much varnish. So I'm going to touch this up, and then I'm going to varnish the snail on this side. I didn't have any varnish at the time when I drew this rock. But now this side has been varnished a couple of times. And I really like that varnish because it preserves your work, and you don't have to worry about it coming off if you give a rock away, or if you sell a rock. Your design is locked in. Okay, and then I did another rock, which is, let's see if I can get it in. It's a cupcake. And this is just a raw rock with a cute little cupcake. The icing is a pink. The wrapper is a green, and then of course there's a cherry on top with a stem. And this is just a raw rock, meaning that I just picked it up off the ground, washed it, dried it, and drew the cupcake, selected the acrylic colors for the cupcake. And so this rock was really easy to do, and people really like it. And so there's others that I've done. This is another one. And then here's another snail rock. The rocks are really easy to do. And if you're just going to put a snail and a few words on a rock, it doesn't take a lot of time to do a rock. That's why I have so many, because they're small and they're really easy to do. And they make such a cute little design. And here's another with the little green butterflies, black butterflies with green wings. And then I have another little cupcake rock that I did. Let's see if I can get this close enough so you guys can see. There it is. It's a little cupcake with a lavender background. Okay, and then another rock that I did is this one. It just has a real red base, and then it's speckled with the different sky blue, lime green, and black dots. So this gives you an idea of what you can do as a hobby. Very inexpensive, and there's so many beautiful acrylic colors that you can use. And you do, again, once you put your design on the rocks or draw your design on the rocks and paint them, you do want to varnish them outside. And it takes about 15-20 minutes. You can varnish them and just let them sit outside in the wind. And then give it a full 24 hours before you begin to handle, the rock. So this has been a lot of fun, and people really do enjoy looking at these painted rocks. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. If there's any designs that you would like to see, put those in the chat as well. And I'll look and see if I can draw any of those for you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Invite others that you know that would enjoy this type of programming to also join or subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to leave this up for just a few minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you later.